Ladies and gentlemen, is it true? Is it true? Did he actually apologize? I can't believe it. I actually don't believe it. I don't believe it. All right, MorePegasus. Is this clickbait or what?
Welcome back to a series so magical, Disney tried to copyright it. In today's video, Ludwig has responded again on his stream. Tectone has called out Ludwig once again. Pokimane is back with some of the dumbest takes known to man.
Dude, I heard she just got canceled. We're gonna be checking that out later.
Subscribe to convert everybody you know into a Pegasus fan. And let's begin with supreme ruler of all jellyfish, Ludwig. Basically, last time we talked about Ludwig, he was responding to the whole Burial cart.
I love this new jellyfish insult that everybody's using. When everybody like latches onto an insult, it's always amazing. It's always hilarious, and I love it. I love everything about it.
Situation where Ludwig invited his alcoholic friend Mango to his party, cheered him on to drink to dangerous levels of alcohol, then banned him from his events when he got backlash, and said he didn't feel guilty about doing that.
I feel zero guilt. I don't feel guilty at all.
Now last
More like Slugwig, because he's slimy.
time we talked about his response, basically saying that it doesn't matter because drama YouTubers don't actually care or know Mango personally. It was just a bunch of bad arguments. He also said it shouldn't.
Yeah, like this was even about Mango. It's not even, it could have been anybody. Replace Mango with literally anybody. If they're an alcoholic, man. And that wasn't the issue. The issue was you allowing it to happen, and then also the other issue is nobody was saying anything, nobody was doing anything. Even the people who did say stuff, they still stayed involved. They didn't try and stop anything. Like, I'm tired of nothing being done whenever shitty things happen. Nothing gets done until the reaction to everything happens. It's fucking ridiculous.
Matter because the earth is spinning and we eventually die. Unironically, that was his response. But don't worry, he made another response today, and honestly, it was much better. So he starts by telling his mods not to ban people mentioning the drama now.
Already starting good. Yep. There you go. You're doing better than Pirate Software, not deleting comments on the thing that you are like literally being wrong about, the drama that you're involved in. That's the way to do it. So there's a point for Ludwig.
Mods, we can chill on the bans today. I think if somebody comes in with a first-time chatter and saying get those number up, I think it's fine. I think I'm okay eating that. I ultimately had very embarrassing clips in moments, and on hindsight, it looks really bad. And I apologize for it, and I've apologized for it. But if someone wants to come in and they feel like a little bit good about themselves by putting me down, I think it's a fair punishment because there's not, that's fine. I'm okay.
I feel really good about this. I do. I feel really good about all the things that I said about Ludwig and where he's at now with this video. Because I don't think that we could have got to this point without all of us getting together and being like, hey, all you stupid streamers need to start taking accountability. You're all fucking morons. Quit. Quit doing your shit. And it seems like Ludwig might be the best out of all of them. That's why he's the kingpin. Still a garbage person, in my opinion. But there's a reason why they all gather around him.
I'm okay doing that. That's okay. Drama frogs suck. Yeah, but we all are drama frogs.
True. He's finally like, who talked to him? Who'd he talk to? Because he's getting it. He didn't come up with this on his own.
And to varying degrees.
Right, so obviously people are trolling him about the let's get those numbers up.
Hey, yo, just 1.32! Let's up those numbers!
That is a diabolical clip, and it's now an internet meme, so he's got to deal
Dude, I've seen this clip so many times by now. Absolute cringe fest, man. I wouldn't hang out with any of these people.
with that. But honestly, he's being a good sport about the situation, but the entire reason people were mad was that his initial response did not feel...
Honestly, even though he wouldn't take accountability at first, I still don't know if he's taking accountability yet. We'll see. He's handling it a lot better than pretty much anybody else that gets involved in drama like this whenever they do something slightly stupid. This is pretty stupid. It's not really slightly stupid. I don't think it's a cancelable offense or anything.
feel authentic. It felt like he was throwing his friend under the bus.
True.
He said like, oh, in hindsight, it was in poor taste and cringe, but he didn't really like treat it like the serious situation it was. But towards the end of this stream, he actually did deliver a better response. Here's what he said.
I'm bummed at how he's handling the current situation. I don't actually really understand how I can handle it better. I honestly think the biggest mistake I made is I said, if someone asked me if I feel guilty, and I said no. And I think that was my biggest mistake, was saying that. And I do
That's probably the worst thing, honestly, yes. I think you got a lot more people hating on you when you said that.
regret saying that. And I was thinking, do I feel guilty about banning? But I feel guilty about the situation happening. I think that was honestly like my biggest fuck up.
Right, so the biggest F up was the situation itself, obviously. Now, saying that he didn't feel guilty was obviously not received well, but him saying that he regrets it now is obviously the right move.
True. What's he gonna do about his friend, though? What's he actually gonna do?
I think people just wanted a more sort of explicit response, like maybe a tweet or a separate video, maybe a more heartfelt apology for inviting him in the first place.
I don't think it really needs to be all that heartfelt. You know, honestly, at the end of the day, this wasn't that big a deal. Nothing actually really did happen.
And of course, you know, not cutting him off from alcohol and being a responsible host and stuff.
Yeah, that definitely would have been a thing. But also, at the same time, Ludwig was drinking too. So his judgment was way off. And also, he's just a fucking idiot. Don't host these kinds of streams. Don't host these, like, party streams. Come on, man. We're adults. We're way past adults. We're starting to get old. Like, what are we doing here?
By the way, his mods did not listen. W Tectone was instantly wiped out. Just saying, you are allowed to type W Ludwig in my comment section in Tectone's chat.
Yeah, don't be censoring people, especially whenever you're in the middle of drama. Like, come on, just take the L. Just take it on the chin. Even if they're in the wrong, just take it. Because you look even worse whenever you're deleting speech, because you're trying to control a narrative.
In Asmon's chat, I don't think anybody's gonna ban you for that. I just find it funny. You just gotta create the echo chamber. But he specifically said not to, so I don't know why they're still doing it. Then he
Well, because they're morons, and they think that they know better than Ludwig, probably. They probably think Ludwig's a moron, which makes them bigger morons, because he's the star. But I don't know, I'm just saying shit.
just says that he's not going to try and appease people.
But I like, there's no point, I think, in like trying to appease people who
True.
aren't even in the situation, you know?
Yeah.
It don't really help me. It doesn't even help them. Like, I'm thinking about it from my perspective.
Yeah, Ludwig doesn't know me. He doesn't know all of us. He knows of some of the bigger names, but really, like, at the end of the day, none of these people, none of these big names are even in his life. They don't really know him personally. Asmongold does, Tectone does, but that's different. I wonder what they've got to say about this situation. I probably better cover that. So hopefully they're just, hopefully, like, we can all just move past this now.
When I get mad at someone because I'm into some drama, there's really no apology you can do. I just want to be fucking mad at him for a while and chat shit on him. So I think it's the same here. But, you know, I think however people feel is fine. Drama leeches are annoying. I think it's fine. I think it's like, I totally understand it. I understand why it exists, and I understand why people watch it. And I have no, oh my God, this Leon is nasty. I have no desire to, I don't know, like be viewed in a more positive light, if that makes sense.
Doing all of this while you're playing League of Legends, that's kind of a bad move. I don't care, though. I'm tired of it. Dude's garbage. At least he said something. At least he acknowledged that he's a fucking idiot and that this whole thing shouldn't have happened.
I've been really back on my stoicism arc. I also think on the flip side, you do not have to be in it for the long haul. I think you should just be in it if you think what I make is something that like appeals to you, you know? And if that ever switches, then you should not watch. I think it's fine.
Right, so, you know,
Oh wait, no, he's not playing it. Is he watching it?
he's allowed to do what he wants, of course. If you don't know what stoicism is, it's kind of like focusing on things you can control and ignoring things you can't. It's actually a very good life principle to follow and will really help you out in life. And basically he's saying that he believes the internet's response is out of his control. I think different.
I think about 95% of the response was fake, too. My response was real. Asmongold, Nuxanor, MorePegasus, I think all of our responses were real. But there were people that were, like, actively wishing harm on this guy. They want everything to crash down around him. They want him to be canceled and all that. I don't think so. It does suck that he's friends with Hassan. He's friends with a lot of shitty people. And this is definitely not going to be last drama that he's involved in, and probably not even going to be near the worst. We probably haven't even seen the worst drama he's going to be involved in.
But that's fine. He's allowed to have his opinion. I feel like depending on your response, the internet obviously responds, right? Now, some people will hate you no matter what, and yeah, that is kind of out of your control. Now,
Yeah, and those people are kind of fucking morons, unless he does something actually vile and unforgivable.
Cheddar calls him out, saying what we all have been saying. Why can't you just say, I wish I didn't have Mango at the event? And Ludwig basically implies that it was fine to have him at the event, but he should have cut him off from alcohol, which is, I guess, one way to deal with it.
I'm not rage baiting. I just wish he would say he shouldn't have had Mango at the event. I think we should have cut off Mango way earlier. I think I shouldn't have done the breathalyzers. That was
Honestly, I don't think you should have had the event. I don't think you should do another one. I think you should not do these drinking events. Do events, yes, please. For one, it's not a good example. And for two, you're all fucking idiots. And three, it's not really good content. I don't really want to watch a bunch of drunk idiots. I had enough of that whenever I was in my, early 20s.
that was dumb. I don't think the breathalyzers were legitimate. I think people like saying 0.32 is near death are not being very genuine, because it's just not. Doug literally said in the clip about breathalyzers, so I think that's like, I don't feel like it's very sincere when people say that, but it still is dumb to have, and it was dumb to like cheer being more drunk. I regret that. I don't know. I had him at 2 other burial card events, and there's no.
I think the breathalyzers was like a non-issue. I think the fact of the breathalyzers was it was actively showing that he was getting more drunk and they were cheering it on. It was just a tool. It was a tool for cheering him on. And yeah, it might be off. Yeah, the numbers might be off. Yeah, maybe he was not near death. Well, actually, I think he was near death levels for like most people. If they were just to randomly start drinking, probably was close to death. Being an alcoholic, being used to alcohol, he probably wasn't. He was probably maybe like, if he drank double what he was at that point, probably would have put him on the floor. Probably would have completely, like, maybe even put him in a coma. Would have gave him alcohol poisoning. Also, if you're an alcoholic, you tend to black out easier than if you're not an alcoholic and you just drink sometimes. Because your brain wants to shut off and, like, not want all the poison so you can, like, because that's the level you're trying to get, right, is the blackout level. So your brain knows that and it'll black you out early. Seriously, look it up. Like, seriously, it is a thing. Obviously not going to be a thing with everybody, but a lot of people it happens to. My stepdad was one of them. When he first started drinking, took him a long time to black out. There toward the end, before he had to stop drinking because he got wet brain, got put himself in a wheelchair, and he can't talk no more. Well, he talks, but you can't understand him, and he rambles 24/7 about nothing because his brain's broken. Yeah, there toward the end. He'd take like a few shots and then he'd black out, be instantly just completely fucked.
Problem. So I think I just didn't realize how bad it was. I wish I had realized, but I just didn't. And I don't know how I would have. I think I might have just been too ignorant.
Right, so
Yeah, a lot of people want to say that, well, your dad was an alcoholic, he died from it. Ludwig was like 10 years old whenever that happened, so he didn't really understand it, he didn't really see it. So that one's like, that one's an unfair one.
this is definitely a better response than last
True.
time. You know, he does take some level of accountability here. He says it was dumb to cheer him on. He regrets his actions. I think the problem here is that he really thinks that Mango can control himself when he absolutely cannot.
Yeah, that's not a thing whenever you got an alcoholic. And it's like, fine if he was just some random guy that showed up. That some random streamer that you invited. But that wasn't the case. It was his friend. That's why all of this blew up so big. If it was just Mango being some guy that went to a Ludwig stream and got fucked up, probably wouldn't have been that big a deal. Probably wouldn't have been half as big.
I guess he thought Mango had no problem because he had him at older events and it was fine then. And that sort of might have given him the confidence to keep doing this. Of course, ended up being a horrible decision, but recognizing that it was an ignorant thing to think is definitely good. Now, as for the breathalyzers not being accurate, I don't think that's a very good defense. It's still super high.
Yeah, it's not a good defense.
Levels, and we don't really know the actual levels, so I think it's always better to be on the safer side.
I think it wasn't a good defense. I don't think it was a good offense either. I think everybody throwing that at him But them wanting to get it up to a like a 0.40, even if they're busted, like that's fucked up, man. Because on paper, that is near death levels. That is like deadly levels. It looks so bad.
Then he talks about how Mango's career is not over.
But I also think some people talk about Mango like he's dead. He's gonna be back. Like I really hope his sobriety goes well. He's gonna be back. He's gonna be better than ever. I truly think that. Like I really.
True. I also think that. And now a lot of people know who he is, so whenever he gets better and does his comeback, he's gonna pop up into more people's algorithm. I think he's gonna get a lot more views, at least initially when he comes back. Just so people can see how he's doing.
Really truly believe that. Like he'll be healthier, he'll be happier. Like I truly think, if he's sober for like a year, he'll be leading such a better life. People talk about him like his career's over and his life is over. It's just not true. But that's a time will tell and time will prove it.
Right. So again, I don't know much about this Mango guy, but being dropped from your tenure org is pretty bad, I feel like. And of course, it sort of looked like, you dropped him too from the events and everybody's dropping him. And everybody thinks he's a horrible person because of the harassment, which was, again, unacceptable. But it was brought about by the circumstances of this event. Now, again, he is his own man, but of course, his friend cheering him on to drink more alcohol doesn't help. And Ludwig has apologized for that, so, that's good. But in my opinion, all right, he doesn't have to follow that. I think you should just bite the bullet and be like, yeah, Mango, I fucked up. You deserve better. Get another friend. Now, it seems Mango wants to continue being friends with Ludwig. I personally wouldn't recommend. I honestly...
Yeah, Mango, like, you could get better friends, man. Sure, like, do some streams with Ludwig, do some of his events, but actually being friends with him, maybe just be acquaintances from now on. Because he's not good for you. He's a moron. He's a moron who will backstab you for self-preservation. Hopefully you see that.
If somebody did this shit to me, I would cut him off ASAP. But yeah, you can see that Ludwig definitely seems to feel bad about it. I don't know if he feels bad because everybody's criticizing him on the internet, or he feels bad for what he actually did. Maybe a little bit of both. I honestly think
I don't even care. If he does feel bad about what he actually did, then I'll take it. So to me, I think this drama's over. Hopefully, we can come back around. Maybe he's going to get a little bit better. Maybe he's going to take some plans, take some action to make himself better and not do these stupid drunk streams.
Just like a dedicated response would have been much better received. But Ludwig has said like 3 times he doesn't believe that's the right thing to do here.
True.
And he doesn't want to like appease other people. But anyways, if you remember, Ludwig also...
I like it better whenever it's off the cuff, it's just happening. I don't like when there's a plan. I don't like when there's a plan, because then it's like, then he had to write it down. There's a script. No thanks. I'd rather him just be sitting there watching League of Legends talking about it.
Also brought up Tectone in one of his responses. So Tectone, naturally, being the streamer he is, he responded, Ludwig has now tried to slander my name to score a W 3 times now in the past 48 hours. After directly expressing he'd rather neck himself than watch one of my videos, he proceeded to watch both.
Well, hopefully the drama's over, but it's looking like maybe it's not, but let's squash it, man. Come on, Tectone. No more of this. I'm tired of it. I want to move on to something else. Let's talk about some other drama.
To be honest, I'm glad I've kept him busy. Maybe he'll cancel that kegger he was planning on hosting at the local Alcoholics Anonymous. All right,
That's a pretty good own. And honestly, Ludwig deserves that. Because at the end of the day, he started all this, and he just wouldn't quit. He wouldn't quit clapping back when he didn't even have to.
To be fair, I think this is a misunderstanding here. I don't think Ludwig actually meant that. I think he said that he would be happy dying, never watched a Tectone video. That's a little bit different.
Enable game chat. It's actually one of my greatest pleasures that I get to die never having to speak to these people. It's like a Tectone video. I can die never watching one.
But anyways, Ludwig does keep bringing him up for some reason.
Yeah, I think that was a joke, and Tectone got mad about it. So I think that's like not a big deal. It's kind of funny, honestly.
His chat does hate him. You kind of get insta-banned when you mention Tectone.
Ludwig, for some reason, can't keep my name out of his mouth, and he's now trying to...
He can't keep his name out of his mouth, but he also is keeping his name out of the chat.
Paint me as a disingenuous content creator. But if there's one thing I'm not gonna fucking tolerate, It's being called disingenuous when my entire fucking shtick is being as genuine as fucking possible. I've gotten into so much shit because I tell the truth, even out of fault, even when it makes me look like shit. No one is causing this guy's misfortune rather than his own stubbornness and the ability to not take accountability.
This
for
is true.
anything.
Okay, I will say if I had to pick between who is more authentic between Ludwig and Tectone, I think it's an absolute sweep. You may
Oh yeah, Tectone, that he dropped like 1 point. He had 10,000 points and he dropped 1 point. He's at 9999. Ludwig, he was at 10 points. He's got 11 points now.
may not like Tectone or some of the things he says, but you can't say he's not saying what he thinks. Often to his own detriment, he will literally just say whatever is on his mind. And not gonna lie, Ludwig's reputation is the exact opposite. He's the Albert Einstein of, how do I make people like me? And not gonna lie, Ludwig's manner of speaking is like, let me run it through 500 filters in my head, and then let me ask Hassan if I can say this, and then it goes out to the public. Then he talks about how nobody actually wants to cancel Ludwig.
There are going to be a lot more.
This is true. I see a lot of people in the comments and other people's videos and my videos that are wanting to cancel Ludwig. I disagree with that. I think he needs to do better. I think that the audience is going to fall off if he keeps fucking up. And if he doesn't stay away from the wrong people, if he keeps making friends with the wrong people, people are going to see that and be like, what are you doing, bro? Get away from there. If you're trying to make good content, get away from these people. These terrorist supporters and whatnot. These actual copyright abusers, just abusers in general. Liars, manipulators.
More drama heads today, okay? I won't lie about it. It is what it is. But
Do you want to know why this drama is happening, Ludwig? Because you can't just say that you f***ed up and you're sorry. And it's really not that hard. Nobody wants to cancel your career. We just want to see some fucking accountability. Let me rephrase that. I don't care. I truly listen, Ludwig. You at your worst, you're a disingenuous piece of shit. Bad.
True. Tectone is right, but I actually am glad that he's taking a little bit of accountability because it sets an example for other people to do the same. Also, I think all of the people that were at the party need to take a little bit of accountability for letting it all just fucking happen all the time and not doing anything about it or saying anything about it until they get in trouble for it. And if they don't get in trouble for it, and they're like, thank God, like, dodge that bullet and I don't have to talk about it.
Friend, right? That's it at your worst.
Yeah, I think we need to move on from Ludwig and go and take a look at all of the other streamers that are around him. We can skip over Doug and Valkyrie for now. But I think some of those other people, like Extra Emily, I think some people need to call out her bullshit. I don't think enough people are calling out her bullshit.
I just want you to fucking shut up and try to stop painting me in a bad light because you're upset because I'm telling the truth about you.
So I think one of the reasons the situation got so big is because of the ego aspect. I feel like he was a bit condescending, all right? Like, all these drama channels are calling me out. They don't actually
Yeah, he just wants people to let go his ego.
care about anything. They just do it for money. Oh, Tectone message Mango. He doesn't care. He's disingenuous. When people were actually, like, rightfully calling you out. So it would have been much more simple to handle this in, like, a, you know, a genuine, serious response. But let me just say the quiet part out loud. The fact is, a lot of Ludwig's fan base is actually just unaware of the drama, right? And if you make a dedicated video about the situation, everybody is now aware of the drama.
Dude, so many people in my comments glazing Ludwig. Like I actually hate the dude and wish harm upon him. And I think these people are probably worse people than Ludwig. Honestly, compared to like random people, Ludwig's not that bad a guy. He's probably a decent dude compared to a lot of the people that follow him. So yeah, you got that right. If you follow Ludwig, you're a bigger degenerate piece of shit than Ludwig is. Because you see all the stupid shit he's doing, and you just don't care. And you think it's a good thing. And you defend him at every turn. So go fuck yourselves. And if you're a Ludwig fan, and you're just a regular person who admits that he's a fucking idiot, but also everybody online's a fucking idiot, and there's levels to this, and Ludwig isn't really like a high-level person when it comes to being a piece of shit, you're cool. You're fine. I don't care about you. It's the people that are like outright insulting me, defending Ludwig. It's fucking stupid. Get out of here with that.
And that is the only reason why there is no dedicated video about it. It has nothing to do with, whether he's in the right or the wrong or taking accountability or anything like that. It's just, I don't want the rest of my fan base to know about this shit. Or possibly, maybe the rest of my friends to know about this shit, who he might respect. The fact of the matter is, what he did was dangerously negligent, and, we talked about the hypotheticals of what could have happened if something else happened on that day, and, Ludwig might have been even criminally liable.
In this world, we can only control the things we can control, and I can't control my reputation. I can't control the way people...
Yes, you can, brother. But Ludwig, your problem is you only talk about things and apologize for things once they become mainstream. But if you can skirt by before anybody talks about it, you have zero accountability. You can't control your...
Yeah, that's definitely a problem, that it took this much pushback for him to actually take accountability. And now everybody's just like, oh, everything's all hunky-dory. But, to me, everything is hunky-dory. I don't care about this situation anymore. I'll probably still cover it if some other dumb shit comes up that I can make fun of. Or just talk about. And probably make fun of. But Ludwig is still a dumbass. Dumbass!
Reputation to a certain degree. Now, I understand some people will hate to hate, but to say that in totality that you can't control anything, it's just a fucking lie.
I think he did pull like a pirate software where he just sort of doubled down over and over instead of giving an inch. And
yeah, you think that's maybe why there's some drama between Ludwig and Pirate Software right now? Ludwig took accountability and Pirate Software was like, what are you doing, man? You can't take accountability. Even if you're wrong, you can't let these people win. I'm out. We're done. I don't know. I'm just saying shit. That's probably not true. We'll get to it, though. Maybe it is.
And I have another theory as to why he's being so sort of wishy-washy about it. I think he's legit afraid of admitting what happened and confronting what happened. Because as some people pointed out, that shit is borderline evil, especially if he was aware of the dangers. Now, you can say you regret it and all of that, but obviously that doesn't wipe away the actions. That's why the language around the situation is, that was pretty cringe, that was pretty dumb. Not like that was dangerously sociopathic or something. Then he talks about Mango asking him not to speak about it, and I found this very odd. Tectone did not buy it at all.
to not speak on it.
You're full of shit. You are absolutely full of shit. There is no way Mango reached out to you and said, don't talk about it at all. And don't take any accountability. And don't and make sure to double down that you feel no guilt. Because
hold on. Well, Tectone's onto something, but I think he's misunderstanding which part he's talking about. Because I think Ludwig was told by Mango to not talk about Mango going to rehab and stuff like that and getting help and all that. I don't think he's saying that Mango told him not to talk about it at all. But yes, he should have taken accountability, and that's bad that he did not do that. But now he kind of has. I think he took like 75% of what he really should have, but, you know, that's better than all the rest of them.
because here's the thing. You said that Mango said that he reached out to you, and he said, don't talk about it. That's crazy after you've already talked about it 3 times, said that you're doubling down and you feel no guilt and you have no regrets. So full of shit, it's insane. Jesus Christ.
Right, so we don't really have any way to verify what happened there. I mean, I don't think he would lie about it. That would be really bad, of course. But I think Mango is just still trying to be a good friend. Like, you know, I don't want Ludwig to get any heat for this, which is crazy. You know, the fact that they're still friends after this is insane. Ludwig did say that they are still on good terms. I would still advise Mango to ditch the jellyfish. You know, he did apologize and all that, but I don't know. That's like a severe mistake. Like, imagine if someone did that to you, dude. Honestly, if my friend encouraged me to keep drinking after I blew a .32, even if, you know, it might have been slightly lower or whatever, I would be concerned. I'd be like, this guy's dangerously stupid, or he wants to kill me. I have no idea.
Well, to be fair, he's still got the alcoholic mindset. He's still got alcohol brain. So, like, he's not going to be the smartest guy.
Yeah. Either way, I just would not want that guy to be my friend at all. Not to mention, Ludwig is the guy who put you in the scenario in the first place, in the whole party environment with alcohol. I feel like, you know.
But at the same time, if this wouldn't have happened, he probably wouldn't be seeking help. So Ludwig was kind of right about that. Like, hopefully this is his rock bottom. And that is true. I hope it is Mango's rock bottom. I hope this is what it took to allow him to get better.
You know, people need to stand up for themselves, you know, stop tolerating bullshit in your life and actually just cut off toxic people. And unfortunately, in this scenario, Ludwig does fall into that category. He might be a nice guy all around, but You know, this is one of those irreversible sort of mistakes. At least like personal friendship wise, obviously, you know, in the face of the internet, obviously your reputation can be repaired. You know, one mistake doesn't define you. But as a personal friend,
Yeah, one mistake doesn't define you. How about mistake after mistake after mistake? But he doesn't make big mistakes whenever he does it. It's just a bunch of little mistakes that pile up to really show what kind of person he is, what kind of character he is, what kind of character he puts on for the audience.
heck no, you're completely out of my life, you know? Then Tectone talks about having some basic empathy. This was a really dumb point by Ludwig.
I don't think they'll be in his stream when he's back to streaming in a month or whenever it is.
It doesn't matter if people care about Mango or not. It doesn't matter if they're going to be in a stream or not. That's not how you judge someone's loyalty or their credibility or their kinship for one person. Having a general worry for people just because they're a common human is pretty much it. I don't need to see someone dying on the street to want to help them, but I won't help them unless they're my friend. If someone's injured in the street, I will make sure to call an ambulance for them and make sure they're taken care of, and then I will continue upon my day. That doesn't mean that I'm going to send them letters and now become best friends with them. It's just common empathy for another human. And I don't get how shit of a take it is saying, all these people who are pretending to care about Mango, they don't actually care about Mango. They're not going to watch his streams. It's not even about that. Supreme Leader, I'm going on my mission. How do I blend in with the humans? You must only take care of the people who you grow close with. Ignore all non-doers. Yes, sir. Skin suit on.
Dude, that was the greatest thing that I've seen from Tectone. Holy shit. 10 out of 10 performance.
Hello? Can people not care for a stranger? Like, this is sociopathic levels of misunderstanding what it means to be human. I can't believe I'm having to fucking describe basic empathy to a 29-year-old man. Holy shit.
I don't know if Ludwig's actually a sociopath. I do think that he has pushed his stoicism to a weird level, and it's making him dumber. I don't think he's an actual sociopath, though. Because I think he does actually have friends that are like, they're not trying to make money off of each other constantly.
Shit, what the fuck? This is psychotic.
Gotta take those iDubbbz lessons. How dare you talk about something that's not directly affecting you? What are you, a freak? You disgusting person, you have feelings? That's just not in my programming. I only know what Assad Piker has told me. Then Ludwig points out that Tectone followed Mango, and somehow that proves it was fake concern. That literally made zero sense.
He was messaging me. He was like, Tectone followed me. Who the fuck is Tectone? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not a very genuine pursuit of the people who speak on Mango's behalf.
But here's the thing, Ludwig. I don't need to know someone to want to make sure someone is okay. Do you want to know why I followed him, Ludwig? Because when I saw a guy in a room with 100 other people and not a single one of them was his friend and attempted to mitigate any of the life-ruining things that he...
Dude, could you imagine, man? That's so stupid. Imagine being a virtue signaling, disgusting piece of shit like Ludwig, and then say that Tectone is virtue signaling by following Mango. The hypocrisy, man. The hypocrisy.
He did on camera because he was blackout drunk, and honestly, the guy's probably a little bit weird too. I still have enough.
Yeah, because, like, I'm not gonna be, like, humping people while I'm blackout drunk. Like, even though if I'm not gonna remember that, that's not part of me. That's just not in me. That's not something that I would do. You know? That's just, like, really weird behavior. Really cringe. I don't think it's actually that big of a deal. It is very cringe, and somebody should have stopped him, because that's fucking weird.
Enough empathy and care for the common man. I was going to reach out to him and hopefully help him provide with him a therapist, maybe an easy way to talk about his issues and to get into a support program for his alcoholism.
Honestly, I think they should have monetized it. I think they should have ran an event, like a month-long event where he's not allowed to drink and they do all kinds of activities. I think that would have been great content, and they should have done that, man. I would have watched it. I want to watch something like that, where a person has a fall like this, and they're like, you know what? We're going to turn it around. We're going to, instead of making money off all the drama, we're going to make money off of not allowing this guy to drink. And he's going to make money too. And we're all going to be better for it. And it's going to be great. But no, didn't get that. Because, like, they're good at making content, but they're not great. You know?
Do you want to know why?
Missed
that is,
opportunity.
Ludwig? Because I have had family members who have suffered from alcoholism.
Me too.
And it's not good. These people become unrecognizable. Now,
True.
Ludwig, I know that you too have a family member who suffered from alcoholism, so I would hope that you would get this. But the fact that you think that I'm following him because I'm disingenuous? No.
I don't think Ludwig really gets the whole alcoholic thing. Because his dad was gone when he was a little kid. Like, before he was even a teenager kid. Like, a little kid. So, he didn't really understand it. It confused him. Especially when everybody else's dads weren't dying. So, I kind of, like, as a person who didn't really have a dad, like, I kind of feel for him for that.
I went to follow him because I want to help this guy with his issues because I know nobody else is going to, or at
I think somebody needs to help Ludwig with his issues, because he's got issues, man.
least that's the perception that I got. Jesus! You think I have something to gain from helping Mango? No. Do you think I disclosed any of that publicly? No.
Well, he does have something to gain. It's one more person in the world getting better. And that's a plus for me.
You are forcing me to. And this shit is weird as fuck.
I mean, Tectone had nothing to gain from following Mango. Like, he's not getting any clout. He's not getting any services at all. I mean, if you took, like, the worst interpretation possible, maybe you could be messaging him to get, like, dirt on Ludwig. Or he wanted, like, Mango to chat shit about him. That is, like, the worst interpretation. But the overwhelmingly likely and plausible reason is that he wanted to reach out to provide some sort of help, some sort of good wishes. And I'm sure if any DMs got leaked, that would prove that as well. I think it's stupid to automatically assume it's, like, a fake thing for someone to reach out. Like, if I have like a problematic situation and somebody DMs me about it or offers help about it, I would definitely appreciate it. Like, I'm not automatically gonna assume it's like some weird twisted plan. And honestly, assuming that is kind of narcissistic, all right? Not everything's about you.
You can talk to people you don't know and still want to help people.
Well, honestly, you know, the narcissist thing, I think that Ludwig is a little bit of a narcissist. I think he's an egomaniac, most of all, though.
You don't know. Even if you disagree what they've done. I think Mongo needs help with his alcohol issue, and I think he needs therapy. I don't need to know someone to want to help someone. Do you understand that? I'm not like you LA fucks who only want to help people who can help them with their career. Ain't nobody helped me with my career at all. You
True, same, man. I'm doing all this shit by myself. Ain't nobody helping me.
joined OTK. My numbers stagnated when I joined OTK. I didn't get help from shit. Maybe more recently, Asmon, MorePegasus, you know, the slop tubers, they've been very kind to me.
Pegasus mentioned automatic double.
Bro, Tectone has entered my algorithm. I don't know how, I don't know why. Maybe because he was talking shit about Hassan Piker a whole bunch. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll get you in my feed in no time, especially if you're like friends with Nuxanor, because I watch almost every Nuxanor video that comes out on all of his channels. And MorePegasus, you know, like everybody's talking about him, so now I'm talking about him, and I like Tectone a lot. I think I might like him more than Asmongold, because I think Asmongold holds back a little bit too much. Tectone, he doesn't really hold back that much. He holds back a little bit, and I think he should hold back just a little bit. But he goes hard, man. He goes hard. And I feel like some of our personalities overlap a little bit.
W. It's like if you're playing rock, paper, scissors and somebody pulls out the Pegasus, you automatically win the game. In fact, you get 10 points right there. No, but honestly, despite all this drama, I still believe Ludwig can have a redemption arc. You know, just gotta put down the ego a little bit.
I don't think he's gonna get a redemption arc. I don't think there was one of those in his future, because I don't think he fell off. I don't think there's anything to redeem. I think this is kind of like, it was a drama situation and it was really bad. For sure. But really, compared to everything else that all the slop tubers are talking about, this was kind of just a filler waiting for, like, Johnny Somali to get locked up. Mr. Beast to fuck up again, you know, stuff like that. This is a filler arc.
Bit. And you know, I apologize for the jellyfish memes. I can't help the fact that I'm absolutely hilarious. And he did say some absolutely stupid shit, so that just kind of made the situation worse. But I do think one mistake doesn't...
Yeah, I like calling retards when they're being retarded. And then when they admit they're being retarded, then I'm like, yeah, cool, awesome. And then I'll talk about how they admitted that they were retarded, and then we move on. Talk about the next retard.
Define you as a person. It's how you respond to your mistakes that define you. And I think everybody wants to like Ludwig. In fact, they are desperate to like Ludwig. Literally got people out here saying, give me a reason to like this man, but then he just keeps saying stupid shit. And I think the apology he gave was...
For a little while, I was a fan of him. I was watching his podcast, I was watching some of his streams, and then a few times he said some stupid shit. A few times he said some weird shit that, like, insane leftist freaks would say, so I was just like, yeah... I'm out on this guy. He seems kind of fake. And I was right.
You know, somewhat decent. Although I don't know how other people are gonna take it. This is one of those situations where it depends like how much charitability you want to give, and it depends if you're looking at it from a personal perspective of like, what if you were the friend, you know? And it depends if you're looking at it as Mango, this random guy, right? But personally, what I like to do on the internet is separate the art from the artist or whatever, right? In most cases, like I'm definitely not gonna be out here watching Hassan gaming content, right? I don't think that shit's sort of worth it. But in like more minor scenarios, I wouldn't mind watching somebody I disagree with or don't like their opinions or they did something bad if I don't know, their other content is like somewhat entertaining. Now you can decide for yourself if Ludwig fits under that category. Then he talks about how, you know, Ludwig's chat just automatically hates on him.
Events because
Look at that. You even conditioned.
That's probably because there's an overlap between Hassan and Ludwig with the chatters. And they're gonna be on board with whatever Ludwig thinks. And they're gonna be on board with whatever they think Ludwig thinks, even if it's not what he thinks. Because there's like a general vibe about a chat. The chat picks up on it.
Your little pussy chat to go ew whenever my name's typed. Wow, good for you. Good for you. You want to know why they type ill when you talk about me, Ludwig? Because these are the people, and I can tell that your chat's just as...
I love how he says Ludwig, like the original German pronunciation. I think that's just a little bit of a poke, like, hey, you're acting like the Germans in WW2.
Retarded as the people who you associate yourself with. These people have bought into a augmented sense of reality of things that have never fucking happened. Congratulations. Are you proud? Are you proud? Very good.
Yeah, these are all the people that listen to Hassan and Denims and Flogan. I keep saying Flogan, man. I'm not gonna stop because it just flows. You know, like her rolls. Hey, maybe I should start my rap career.
Good, man. Look at that. You got a couple of puppies. They type ew whenever you type Tectone. Very cool. Isn't that so cool? Look at how smart and informed your chat is. That's amazing. I wonder how many of those people follow Hassan.
I will say having a significant audience crossover with Hassan is omega cringe. I mean, that's just sort of their friend group. They all sort of hang around Hassan and are perfectly fine with them. Of course, we got Valkyrie.
Yeah, it's like, for example, if I'm watching Oni Plays, if I watch Oni NG, I'm probably also going to watch Psychic Pebbles. I'm probably also going to watch Spaz Kid in 3D. I'm probably also going to watch Rubber Ross or Rubber Ninja, whatever he calls himself. I'm probably going to listen to Ninja Sex Party. You know? Of course there's overlap. If you're all in the same group, then the people know you're in the same group. They watch all of you.
Who's his good friend who likes Hassan as well, and basically all of them. But at least Valkyrie did have some semblance of awareness that day as like, you know, isn't that enabling him? So
yeah, she still didn't say anything about it though. That fucking face though, I paused at the perfect time. She still didn't address the drama. She didn't like cut off Ludwig or anything, or tell him like, hey, you need to say something about this. You need to apologize because this was all fucked up and I told you and Doug told you. That's a face of a hero right here.
Respect to her for that. Then he talks about how Ludwig tries to play it off. Keep in mind, this was all, you know, before the new apology today.
And if anyone in here don't fuck with me, I think that's totally chill.
God, he's so cool, bruh.
You don't fuck with me, that's chill, bruh. Hey, bruh, that's chill. The only people I like to chill with are alcoholics. Yo, let's hit a kegger at the AA meeting.
He likes to chill with alcoholics and terrorist supporters. He's kicking out everybody else in his chat that's like a normal person, and everybody there is just a fucking freak.
Bruh.
You know who he sounds like right now? He sounds like Hassan. Because this is, I guarantee you, he talked to Hassan and asked how to handle this. And he said, bro, just double down. Yeah, just double down and say f Tectone. You want to know why people say f Tectone? Because the internet has been so brainwashed to disagree with everything that I said that he needed an easy W. By the way, Denim's in the...
Dude, and people cannot just disagree anymore. My hat goes off to all the people in the comments that are willing to disagree with me on things and still watch my content and not write me off. Or like call me out when I say something wrong. Like the fact that the Trash Talk podcast with Hassan Piker is up. It's not deleted. And it was down. I think they took some stuff out of it, probably, or maybe they just took it down so people would stop fucking commenting on it, and then they put it back up whenever the drama died down. And I even might have talked about that. I don't know. That happened a long time ago. But like people calling me out on stuff, I want more of that. I want to take accountability.
Exact same thing. But don't worry, guys. Slowly but surely, I'm repairing my reputation that should have never been damaged at all.
I don't need to be liked by people at all.
Wait, I actually figured out the true form of Ludwig, guys. He's not a jellyfish.
He's a slug.
He's not a robot. He's a jellybot. If you remember...
Or he's a sea cucumber. Loser.
This episode from SpongeBob, we got this absolute dork, and he's surrounded by this bunch of NPCs, and he's like flying around in his like jellyfish spaceship here. And I don't know, Jellybot kind of fits here, but you know, Jellywig is a better ring to it, so I think I'm gonna stick with Jellywig. Then he talks about why everybody
I like Slugwig. Dudwig. Sludwig is pretty good too.
has to say that Ludwig is a good guy.
Willing to farm hate on everybody else. Well, everybody talks about how good of a guy he is.
Mudwig, you know, he's got one of those names. You can just keep coming up with stuff. Crudwig. Okay, I'm done.
You want to know why people say how good of a guy Ludwig is because he's a ringleader. He's a kingpin. He's a guy who wants to host event after event after event, and so many other content creators want to participate in those events. So they won't call you out on your hypocrisy. They won't call you out on your malpractice, but you know what your weakness is, Ludwig? People who don't give a fuck about that shit. People who don't need that shit. People who don't want to participate in the LA friend group.
That's actually a good point. This is the #1 reason why nobody will ever shit talk a lot of these streamers. You know, streaming is not like YouTube. YouTube is oftentimes more of a solo thing. Like sometimes...
Yeah, I kind of feel like this was a little bit of a YouTube versus Twitch situation. Like it wasn't even really like an internet thing. It really felt like it was YouTube versus Twitch. And we had some Twitch people that were on our side, but Tectone got banned, so like it really did feel like Twitch versus YouTube with this whole thing that kind of spawned out of all the drama that was involved with Hassan Piker and all of his orbiters, and then Ludwig just kind of got pulled in by association.
You can get help by other people, but streaming is like a straight up nepo baby space, especially the Hollywood of Twitch with Hassan and friends, where if a popular streamer has you on their event or show, you get popular too, and some of that reviewership remains. That's actually how a lot of streamers made their careers. And yeah, you just never want to get blacklisted from those events. And come to think of it, if you don't like Ludwig,
or you want to be counterculture and you do want to get blacklisted from those events. Oh man, I'm never gonna be able to go to a Ludwig event. That'd be awesome, but I'm never gonna be able to go because if I was at this party, I probably would have been fucking pissed.
you're automatically like outcast from like 50 of his streamer friends as well, which is the entirety of Twitch essentially. So yeah, you're basically forced to suck up to the guy, which is why I prefer my job here. I can literally beef with Mr. Beast, the biggest YouTuber. I do not care, all right? Nobody can give me clout. I don't want it. I will earn it myself. I have earned it myself. And you know, I would like to say what I think.
Where were you when it happened, buddy?
Yep.
Where were you when it
Where was he? He was right next to the fucking guy. Actually, he was right next to the fucking guy.
actually mattered?
So now what he's saying is, let me translate for anybody who doesn't understand. So now he's saying the LA crowd and the streamer crowd is so fake.
Yeah, I think that's where we're moving on to. I think we're moving away from Ludwig and we're branching out to all the people around him. Because they're all fucking fake people and they just kind of allowed this to happen.
That streamers have been conditioned to not address anything until the internet has forced them to. Because if you draw attention to something you genuinely feel bad about.
That's how you get situations like Diddy. That's how you get situations like Epstein. Where people hear about it, or like Weinstein, whatever his name is. People hear about it, Cosby. And then they don't say anything about it because they're afraid that it's going to harm their career.
Before you actually are forced to talk about it, then people will say that you're burning bridges and they won't want to talk to you because they were hoping you would slide underneath the radar because streamers don't understand basic accountability and basic empathy.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's just basic fucking celebrity nonsense. Celebrity garbage. Just like it always is. LA is just a fucked up weird place where everybody's just like, it's crabs in a barrel over there. They're all trying to get out of the barrel, trying to get on top of the mountain of the crabs. They're pulling each other down trying to get there. Oh, you're almost out of the barrel. Nope. You're coming back down to the bottom. And I'm going to take your place. Fucking crazy.
people always want to do like sort of damage control, and I feel like it must be pretty frustrating to like walk on eggshells all the time. You only have like one life, so it's better to be free and just say what you think.
Bro, I'd be stomping on those eggshells. Fuck that.
Because you know, it's much more liberating. So honestly, you should just say like screw the people who you're gonna offend or whatever.
I don't walk on thin ice. I jump in. I'll let myself freeze to death down there underneath that ice.
Obviously, don't be an idiot and try to, you know, be a good person or whatever. But yeah, just don't like suppress yourself. That takes a lot of like mental energy, and you just generally want to say what you think. Ludwig, all my homies love Fent. Let's have a Fent party. Why are you dying on the Fent? You're uninvited to my Fent parties. Just remember, there's a chance Ludwig could have gone to jail if Mango died. Yeah, this is the reason why even an apology is kind of, I don't know. I feel bad because, generally, you just want to accept people's apologies.
Yeah, okay. Like, no, we're not going to let Ludwig just slide out of it with an apology. No, we're going to move on to his friends. Because they're all just as bad as he is, if not worse. Because he is the kingpin, but he is definitely being used. He is a tool for all of the rest of the LA streamers to, like, attach to. So they can feed off of each other, get each other's clout. You know? It's all gross. Every single fucking one of them.
And sort of move on, but also like, holy shit, man, this is just absolutely crazy. But you know,
yeah, it's the streamer swamp.
It didn't happen. So Ludwig looks like he eats Snickers upside down to feel the veins on his tongue. What the heck? What the?
That's a pretty good one.
The type of guy to take a Vietnam veteran to a fireworks show, then act surprised when the vet starts crashing out. Ay, bro. Now, Yeet pointed out a lot of the—
Dude, the best comedians on earth are just the random people on the internet who you don't even know.
The top comments on his videos are not great. Bro needs to get those numbers up. And apparently he's been deleting comments. I don't know if it's him, though. It might be just YouTube, like, auto doing it, or—
Those are rookie numbers. We gotta crank those numbers up.
Maybe his moderators. His moderator really seemed like power hungry. I don't know. Anyways, let's move on to Pokimane.
Oh, here we go. I didn't think we were gonna move on to anybody else, any other drama situation. I guess here at the end, we'll get some Pokimane in there.
Cringe. Apparently, she's now defending Amber Heard. You know, the woman who literally got exposed for being a psychopath and—
She literally shit the bed. Like, literally. Like, she shit in the bed. She shit the bed. Both metaphorically and literally.
Ruining Johnny Depp's life. Well, apparently she tweeted out, "Believe victims." Somebody replied, "Pokimane, I love you and I agree, but I can't forget the way you made fun of Amber Heard during the trial. It was really disappointing. Please address this. I completely understand. I regret how I restreamed the—
Hey, bro, you can't win. You can't win against these people. Like, if you're gonna be that retarded, just don't talk about it in the first place. What is going on here? Okay.
Trial, because any jokes are at the expense of how victims can be perceived. I apologized for that and took down those videos a long time ago." Oh my god, they're not satisfied. Thank you for replying, but please apologize directly to Amber Heard, because their platform did in fact add to the smear campaign that was set up against her. I want you—
What the fuck are these people talking about? These people are insane. Like, yeah, Amber Heard, like, Johnny Depp's a piece of shit, but Amber Heard is just as big a piece of shit, if not bigger. Well, maybe not, because she broke off a piece of that shit in Johnny Depp's bed.
Videos and looked up to you since I was 11 because you're a woman still standing in a male-dominated industry, making way for other girls who want to stream. I really don't want you to get more attention from the misogynistic incel audience. Is
Well, there we are.
this Casey Tron? I want you to use your platform to speak up for what's right for women and survivors. Bro, your satire is 10 out of 10. Right, so just addressing her tweet first.
They really need to stop calling us incels, because we're just going to start calling ourselves incels. That's just what happens every time. When you start throwing insults at us, we just start owning it and be like, yes, fellow incels, we are here against Pokimane today. The incel army. Like, they're fucking retarded. They don't get it. They don't get it. None of this is real. They think it's real.
First off, believe victims. Very brave, guys. Racism is bad, guys. I mean, obviously, if someone is a victim of a crime,
Nice virtue signal. Coming from a person who is never gonna face any kind of adversity in her life.
or an assault or any harassment, you should obviously believe them. But you should obviously do your due diligence because, you know, some people actually lie, bad people exist. And then in that case, they are not actually victims. And then the person being lied about is the actual victim. So I agree with the statement, believe victims. But you gotta, you know, do your innocent until proven guilty. You gotta make sure they ain't lying. Not just believe literally anybody who says anything. Now, somebody responded, Pokimane R-worded me, which is just absolutely crazy. But
Dude, these replies, they're getting me, man. I love the random people on the internet.
I think what they're trying to illustrate is that you shouldn't believe just anyone saying anything because obviously this person is clearly lying. And according to the logic of believe all victims or believe all women, that would be completely stupid because then you would have to believe this person who is lying about you. Now, I'm not going to go into the in-depth details of the Amber Heard Johnny Depp case, but it has been covered extensively online. And essentially they came to the conclusion that Amber Heard is absolutely a psychotic bleh, and Johnny Depp was more of the victim there. So anyways, Asmongold responded.
Yeah, more of the victim. Really, they're both incredibly shitty people. She was just a lot shittier, which is saying something because Johnny Depp is like all mixed up into the art money laundering world. And I think that's just gross. And he's also mixed up in the celebrity culture, does a whole bunch of crazy drugs, probably does a little bunch of orgies. He just strikes me as the kind of person that would do all of these crazy things. Was friends with Hunter S. Thompson, who was himself a degenerate. I like Hunter S. Thompson, though. I also like Johnny Depp. Unless there's some pedo stuff involved, which I've heard some rumors of, but those are just rumors, so I'm not going to outright just sign off Johnny Depp because of those. He's going to have to be proven guilty on that. Or at least the evidence so overwhelming that there's just no other way to look at it.
Don't go around and just believe what people say. You know why? It's because people lie. What a dumb thing to say. Pokimane is apologizing to someone on X for laughing at Amber Heard. I apologize I took down the video. She's apologizing for laughing at Amber Heard.
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Okay, when they were talking about, like, we have all this evidence that he actually did it.
I gotta say, backtracking after this one is wild.
You are deeply an Amber Heard fan. On God, I had no idea who she was before this trial. I don't like her anymore after the trial. How's that?
The reason why Pokimane was laughing.
Yeah, why is she backing up on this one? Is it because a bunch of her audience are weird freaks who are like, hey, you need to apologize for Amber Heard? Because I think all these people that are following Pokimane are the typical celebrity following types. They follow all the celebrities. The people that like Diddy, that want to free Diddy and stuff like that. Same types of people, the people who get ingrained and like infatuated with Justin Bieber back in the day. Like, it's those types of people. They watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians and Jersey Shore and all those garbage reality shows and like super interested in celebrity culture, and it's fucking weird.
Laughing at Amber Heard. Most important reason is because it was the popular thing to do. And number two is because she was a crazy fucking bitch.
My dog stepped on a bee.
That shit on beds, cut herself, and did all kinds of other insane stuff. It was like living with a banshee. And so it's embarrassing that Pokimane would even say that. It's pathetic. I'm shocked.
Honestly, I think Johnny Depp probably liked that lifestyle a little bit. The shitting on the bed, that took it a little bit too far, but I think Johnny Depp liked a little bit of the crazy. He wanted a little bit of that crazy in his life. I know people like this, and I wouldn't be surprised. Dude's fucking weird.
Shocked, honestly, that somebody like that. Well, I mean, from her, it's not surprising because she always tries to have like the most politically correct, sanitized, inauthentic opinion possible. So I think this is just another example of that.
Yeah, she's another one of those Hassan orbiters. She's just like not directly in the circle. She's outside of the circle, but she is a Twitch mod for Hassan Piker. She is friends with Hassan. She's friends with Ludwig. She's friends with all of these people.
Oh my god, bro. We got female Ludwig. Ain't no way. How are you gonna say all that and then change your mind? Well, we believe our victims, guys. You never want to have blanket statements like that because those are dangerous and can ruin people's lives. We have to look at the facts of each case and make case-by-case decisions. I mean, that is obvious to anyone with a brain.
And you know, I get it. I believe all victims. I do. But I don't believe that everybody's a victim, and how are you supposed to know? In some cases, you don't know if they're a victim. They seem like a victim, but are they really? Sometimes they claim to be a victim, and they're not a victim. A lot of times, they are the one who are the predator. Who is the predator? English.
But I highly doubt she actually believes anything she's saying. She's
True.
just trying to virtue signal all the time.
I don't think she believes anything, actually. She probably just, like, believes that she needs to self-preserve. So she's gonna say the thing that's gonna preserve her. At least she thinks. Preserve for now. Because you never know what's gonna be preserving you later. Because drama changes, times change, things come out, people like different people, people think things are lame that they didn't used to think were lame. Everything changes. Everything is changing.
Hate the rich guys, but not me. Not me. Also, we hate the rich, but if you're a broke boy, just say so. Like, she actually cannot shut up. Every problem is because she has to say something. It is like all self-inflicted. Apologizing for laughing at a abusive pathological liar who falsely accused a man of R-word and abuse while she was the abuser. Make it make sense. Pokimane is the epitome of cringe. Pokimane is the most spineless person in the streaming space and the epitome of
Jellymane? Anybody? Jellymane? Is that what we're gonna call her? Because she is also a jellyfish. She is spineless. Like, you can replace all of the things that you say about Ludwig, put Pokimane's name in there, it's gonna be the same insult. Nothing changes.
Support current thing. Maybe you can use a better word here. We got where that spot is just reserved for
Well, she is female Ludwig, you know? She can be the female spineless Ludwig.
another individual. Pokimane ran over my foot with a jeep and called me a slur. Believe the victim, guys. But Amber was not the victim, Johnny was. She'll be a host on The View in 5 to 8 years. No.
No, because the host isn't going to be around. That show is 100% getting canceled.
No way. If Pokimane would marry Ludwig, their kids would be literal slugs. Consider us. Oh my god, bro. Pokimane sold me vent. Now click this video or Ludwig shows up at your house with a 24-pack of beers. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
You know, I'd probably like that. I'd probably party with Ludwig if it was just me and him. I wouldn't drink a fucking 24-pack. I might like have 2, 3, maybe 4.